want to make one thing perfectly clear. And I think you're all fine and intelligent people. The newspaper is not the truth. Analyze it. Where does this statement come from? Walter Lippmann, who said the newspaper is news, not the truth.
Richard J. Daley, 6 times elected mayor of Chicago, serving about 22 years, even longer as chairman of the nation's last big city machine, which he preferred to call an organization. The press called it a machine, though, and the press called Daley about every name in the book. So if ever there was a group the mayor loved to rattle, it was the press. News conferences were his forte.
That's a great question. Isn't there a lot of, that's intelligence behind it. You're really a wank. Here's a guy that we're not in the convention. We don't know who the candidates are, and he's asking me a question, who you going to nominate? Say, you ought to stand up in the corner like they used to turn around and face the wall.
Another time, reporters wondered if it was fair to fire city employees just because they didn't live in the city.
There's no punishment or penalty. All they do is lose their job. But they do it themselves. You take yourself out of the picture.
Chicago aldermen used to make $8,000 a year. When the time came to give them a pay hike, Mayor Daley told reporters the aldermen needed $17,500 a year to keep them honest.
Surely you can't keep a fellow honest. You fellas couldn't be paid $8,000 a year and be honest in your job. Some of you are not doing it at the salary you receive.
As well known as Chicago is for crime syndicate activities, reporters never could get Daley to say there was a mob in the city. He said the Chicago police chased the mobsters out of town.
This police department is doing it isn't here anymore. It's all out in the suburbs.
Sometimes we literally had to chase the mayor if we wanted an interview. Bodyguards and reporters alike had a tough time keeping up with his honor's stride, even when he was in his 70s. Following Jimmy Carter's acceptance speech at the 1976 Democratic National Convention in New York, Daley exited Madison Square Garden in the middle of a standing ovation for Carter. The mayor moved so fast, he led us into a covey of Secret Service agents. They promptly detained us while the story of the month unfolded back on the convention floor. Other times, Mayor Daley was happy to talk to us. My last interview with him was just a few days before his death in December of '76. He was on his way out of the Civic Center, which would later be named for him.
How do you feel about having a swine flu shot, and now they say that it might cause paralysis, so they're going to drop the program?
Oh, who says that?
The national government.
They did?
They've canceled the program.
They've canceled it?
Yes.
Have you had it?
Yes. How about you? You've had it, haven't you not?
How do you feel?
How do I feel? I feel good.
Feel good in the knees?
I surely do.
Okay.
Nice to see you.
Campaign time could be an especially active time between the mayor and the press.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt never read a paper for 2 weeks before any election. He said, if you do, it will disturb you for the rest of the night, and why get disturbed? So I don't read them, so.
One newspaper story that did disturb Daley was the revelation that the insurance agency which underbid all others for millions of dollars worth of city insurance business was the insurance agency where one of Daley's sons worked. The mayor promised a full and complete statement, but not until the proper time.
At the proper time, I told you, there's no statement needed. They're good young men.
You told us at
And
the
if
proper...
you and your family is as good as they are, then you'll have a very happy family.
Mr.
But
Mayor,
the
what
proper
is
time, it has been about 11 months now, sir.
Well, the proper time might be 11 more months.
Daley didn't mince words when he was angry with reporters. In 1960, he said, "We have had a lot of dishonest newspapermen in this town. We still have. I could spit on some from here." But sometimes the charges were coming so quickly, a joke was not enough.
I don't answer the twisted, polluted imagination of journalistic enterprise.
When Daley's candidate for governor was under attack for an alleged conflict of interest in 1976, the mayor defended the candidate and castigated the reporters.
I think it's the allegations which we receive constantly from the journalistic world, that they get a few drinks and they get a little high and they write a lot of things that are not true.
Later in this controversy, Daley said the reporters were trying to make a mountain out of a mole. The Illinois Supreme Court essentially agreed and threw out the case. Perhaps Daley's best criticism of the news media came even before the '68 convention riots. The mayor told an Illinois Institute of Technology commencement audience that the nature of the media is to gather the sensational, the eccentric, the odd and unusual, and present it as a catalog of the day's events. Daley asked the crowd, would all of these protesters be so eager to march if they did not know they were going to be on television?